Hello guys, and welcome back to our piano lessons. Now we are on scales formation. The first scale we are going to form is the scale of C scale. Remember, we said when you're forming the scales, two very important things you need to understand. One is a semitone, the other one is a tone, and the third one is a note. Remember, we said a note is a single position. A semitone, which is also called a half step, is a distance between one note to the neighboring note, and a tone is the distance with two semitones, meaning the first semitone is from, for instance, when you are in C, it will be from C to C sharp, and then from C sharp to D. So a tone is from C to D. Now, when you are forming a scale, we always have a formula of forming that scale, depending with where you are starting and where you are ending. Remember, a scale, if you're forming a C scale, you have to start with a C note and end with a C note, but you must have 7 notes in between C and C, with a semitone between the third and fourth and 7 and 8. And it is compulsory for all the scale. For instance, if you are in a scale of F sharp, of which we have said, if you are in a scale of F sharp, you have to start with F sharp and end with F sharp. But between the third and fourth, you must have a semitone. And also between 7 and 8, you must have a semitone. Now, first thing first, we start with the first scale, which is a C. Now, the formula for forming a C is a tone from first note to the second tone, from first note to the second note, which is a C. A tone will go up to D. That is the first tone. The second tone will come from D to E. Why? From D to E, D sharp is a semitone. From D sharp to E is a semitone. You add both semitones, you get a whole step. So the first note tone is from C to D. The second tone is from D to E. Now, the definition of scale was you must have a semitone between the third and fourth. Remember, we have done the first one, which is a C, a tone. We got to D, that is the first tone, and then we move from D to E, which was the second tone, meaning C is our first one in a scale, D is our second one in a scale, E is our third one in a scale, and the definition of a scale was we must have a semitone between the third, which is C in our case, and fourth. And this is the case here because from E to F, the neighboring notes, from E to F is the distance is a half step. So this one already applies. So we have first one as a C, second one as a D, third one as an E, and fourth one as an F. Now, remember, this is tone, tone, semitone. Now we go to the other bit. We must have a tone because in a scale we are only supposed to have 2 semitones, and they must appear between the third and fourth and 7 and 8. Any other thing in between, it must be a tone. We have already dealt with the first semitone, which is third and fourth. So from the fourth one to fifth one, we must have a tone. Now, from fourth one, which is an F, a tone will go up to G, because from F to F sharp is a half step, which is a semitone, and then from F sharp to G is a half step, and then that is making a tone from F to G. another tone from G to A, another tone from A to B. Remember, our B is our 7th. Our first was C, our 8th is C. So our 7th and 8th, we must have a semitone. Definition of a scale. A 7-sequence, an 8-sequence notes with a semitone between 3rd and 4th, and also between 7 and 8. So meaning you'll have the formula for forming a scale is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Now music assume that when you are forming a scale, you already know that you're supposed to start with C as a starting point. So the formula being tone, tone, semitone, you start counting tone from the first note, which is a C. Why? We are in C scale. And music believes that you know when you are forming a C scale, you must start with C and end with C. So the first tone will be to D, from D to E, the second tone, then semitone from E to F, then tone F to G, then tone from G to A, then tone from A to B, and then semitone from B to C. So C is the only scale that uses naturals, meaning it uses only the white note, meaning also it doesn't use any black, it doesn't use any sharp or flat, meaning when you play all the notes that we have formed using the formula tone, 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 semitone, this is what we got: a C, a D, an E, an F, a G, an A, a B, and C. And that is what we call a notational sound in a 7th note sequence. Now we play it together and we hear how it's is giving us the results. And that is a C scale. Remember, a C scale has 8 notes from C to C, meaning also this note we can name them using numbers. Remember, you name this one using alphabets: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. When we use numbers, we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over scale. Then the other way we can name that those notes in that scale is using the pitch, which is the sound they are making, the notational sound, which is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Now it's go like this. When we are coming backward from our highest note or highest pitch, which is do, it will sound backward like this one. And that is the scale of C. Remember, this scale, we are playing it using notes, single position. When we are playing songs in chord progressions, we can play the same scale but using the same using the chords formed in that scale. So when we form the chords, we are going to play this scale using the chords, and this is how it's going to sound. The same notational sounding, a sequence of a scale using 2 ways. One way, using notes, which are single position, or using chords, which are a combination of notes. Now we have a scale in chords, or we have a scale in notes. So what we said is, when you are forming a C scale, you cannot use a flat or a sharp. And that's why C scale is called a perfect scale, because it uses all the naturals without using any accidental. Remember, you need to practice, you need to follow strictly what we have done, you understand, you form it, because again, when we are doing chord progression, we are going to come back here and use the same scale to play songs in the same progression or in the same scale that we have formed. Thank you very much. We meet in the next scale.